Tyler Head, Chris Clark, Wes Mitchell along with you here live at Firehouse Subs in Elgin. We're going to be out here until noon. This is quite literally their grand opening, so you can come in and break in the new location with us. I'm going to be enjoying some sandwiches coming up here in a couple minutes. As I always appreciate Larry Chandler and everybody for allowing us to be out here at another Firehouse Subs location. We're going to talk to Ramon Robinson here in just a second as Dave's getting him up on the AAA heating and air phone lines. And he's quite literally working with just about every quarterback in this room for South Carolina with the exception of Aaron Nolan. He works with LaNorris Sellers. He's worked with Luke Doty. He works with Cutter Woods. Like, he knows this room perhaps better than anyone.
Yeah, we had Ramon on almost his exact time last year, and I believe his quote was something to the effect of Gamecock fans are going to be very happy with what they see from LaNorris Sellers. And so looking forward to talking to Ramon here about the progress of LaNorris and the other guys in the room.
He's now joining us on the AAA heating and air phone lines. Ramon, first of all, appreciate you taking your time. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, fellas. How y'all doing?
Doing really good. Again, appreciate you calling in today. We just mentioned it as we were coming back in there that you quite literally may know this quarterback room better than just about anyone, having worked with Luke Doty, having worked with LaNorris Sellers, and now working with Cutter Woods as well. So when you look at what South Carolina has at the quarterback position, what's your assessment of this room?
When I look at the room at Carolina, I look at it in a way of not just guys that I've trained, but just guys that collectively that they, put together in that room. And with them adding Nolan in there, I think it strengthened the room up a lot. But, no discredit to anyone, but they had a strong room prior to that. And I think they have one of the best hitting quarterback rooms in the country right now. When you're starting off with LaNorris, of course, and then you go down to Luke Doty, who's a seasoned veteran. And, a lot of people discredit Luke as though he can't play the position. Luke did a lot of great and positive things, not just from high school, but also as a starting quarterback at South Carolina before he made the change. And he's a very big key factor for the Gamecocks in regards to, we're not hoping, we don't want any injuries or anything to happen, but I think it'll be in a great place if he's able to, if he's having to step in to, fill in a void here and there. But he's a good guy, like I said, to, come in for LaNorris if needed, but at the same time right now we're looking for a great, healthy, and positive season out of 16. And then when you go to talking about Cutter's a young guy, great potential. He had a great spring game. Everything that you did in the past when it comes to high school is, that's over with. It's all about now, building on to what you did before and just to make yourself a great quarterback at Carolina and compete in that room. So when you say looking at the room and how deep it is, these are guys that I've seen for years, man. I've had all these guys since middle school, and I've seen the continuous development with them all, and now it's just crazy that all of them happen to be at the same college. And adding that, the Gamecocks just added one more other quarterback that I trained from my high school, which is Brandon Cunningham. And he's actually given the quarterback room a little bit more depth, and he's a dual threat guy, and not sure if that's where he will permanently stay, but right now the need was for him to be in the quarterback room with them signing him as an athlete. But just development thing with everything that's going on right now, they're continuing to develop as a unit, and it's always good to have a great, healthy quarterback room. Nobody wants no negativity, around them. I've been in plenty of quarterback rooms. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, and I think that the relationship with all those guys is a very, it's a big plus for the whole room because, sometimes it can be very toxic, but when you got a great leader and when that starts, with the reason of Luke being there, he's a great leader and it's rubbed off a lot on LaNorris and helping him guide him through, that first season. And he knows how it's done. Luke's played in the big games, and you saw LaNorris respond in ways that everybody didn't think he could, and that's why I made the comment I made last year when it comes to, I think, once 16 is allowed to be 16, the Gamecock Nation is going to be very pleased and happy with what, his development becomes. And if you look at it from a football standpoint, everything that he did, he built on to his legacy as a quarterback and built on to things that you want to see from your quarterback, and that's improvements. Everything started out a little slow, but that's expected. And one thing people forget is that he was a freshman starting in the SEC. That's the toughest conference, defensive conference, period, in college football ever. And I think he responded in a way that nobody expected him to do, besides the circle that has been supporting him from day one, along with his teammates that he gained when he got to Carolina.
Hey, Ramon, it's Wes. Great to hear your voice, man. That prediction about a year ago now here on the show ended up being a pretty good one, about 16. And anybody listening, y'all go check out Ramon's Elite Quarterback Academy, especially if you're a parent out there with a youngster who is a QB. Go check him out. Quarterback Coach RR17 on Twitter. But Ramon, I'm glad you brought up Luke, man. Beamer said the other day, hey, if a number 2 guy would have to go in, right now it would be Luke. What do you think the qualities are that Luke Doty possesses that would allow him to kind of be that guy who, I think the important thing about being a backup quarterback, there are certain qualities in terms of just being ready, even knowing you may not play this game, that probably fits pretty well with Luke's personality. But what can you tell us just from what you've seen from Luke over the years about how he may fit in if he does end up kind of taking on that backup QB role?
I think what you're getting right now is, I kind of look at Luke like a seasoned NFL veteran, like the Jacoby Brissett's and the guys that you see that bounce around the league and be backups here and sign a contract, like the Jameis Winstons. You see that right now, guys that's going on. And I'm missing a few veteran names in the NFL, but they're guys that have that great leadership. They have that command of the huddle. They have the experience to be a leader. They have all the intangibles to be the starter. But we all know that you're drafting quarterbacks every year and you're pulling this big money out there. And it's kind of like how college football is now. But what you're getting from Luke is you're getting the veteran leadership and also the game experience of playing, and not just playing in a game, but also starting, and that's what you're getting with him. Like, Luke could be right now at any other college right now being a starting quarterback, but he chose to stay at Carolina and do the things he do, whether that was help out and be the jack of all trades of the team, and I salute him for that. I was in that role in high school, not that I wanted to be in that role, but I was in that role at a point in time in my high school career to where I understand it, but he's that guy that everybody can turn to and lean on when it comes to being positive, being leader, being able to lift everyone up. And what you're going to get with him is he's going to be that guy that's going to be key. He's the key piece in that team to keeping them gel together, and also that ear for LaNorris when he comes off the field, just because he's been in that situation. Nobody on that roster, regardless of what you was ranked in high school, has the experience that Luke Doty has from the mental and the physical part. I mean, the physical part is given, but the mental is the thing that most quarterbacks anywhere have to improve on, and that's one place that Luke can also help out when LaNorris comes off the field in certain situations, and being able to, hey, did you see this and see that, or to calm him down. It may be a situation where he blew a fuse, and also to get him back with that short-term memory, because that's the thing that I preach to all of them is always have a short-term memory when it comes to playing the quarterback position. We can't dwell on the things of the past. We have to deal with what's going on right now. And I think he's going to be a very key piece in regards to the quarterback room and the things that he brings there. It's just his veteran leadership and his support.
Ramon, Chris here. Thanks again for taking time, man. Let's talk a little Cutter Woods. Safe to say, from everybody we've talked to and what Shane Beamer said publicly, he's made quite the impression in his short time here as a true freshman. The competitiveness, has been talked about. We all saw the arm talent in the spring game. Tell us, just give us a little bit more of a deeper dive on Cutter Woods and his skill set and what he's made of.
Like you say, he's like all of them have came underneath my umbrella, and I instruct a different way than a lot of folks may do. I mean, I would say I'm not for everybody, and I tell people that when they come to training, and I don't run a daycare. And a lot of things that I do prior to these guys going to college, I try to prepare them for these type of moments. And I think you can kind of see with the progress and the development of the guys who've been at Carolina, it kind of they just falling right behind each other. You know what I mean? So it's just all of them have been in, critical situations where they had to respond within their career. And I think with everything that Cutter is going to be able to do, he's been able to watch and listen to a lot of things that I've said prior to him going to college, and a lot of the intangibles that he's bringing in. He grew up fast. And when I say grew up fast, not just physical fast, but just the mental part of the game. He started just embracing everything and just understanding what college football is about. And that's what a lot of things that people don't understand is it's not about just playing ball. It's also about getting on the regiment of what your colleges, your college coaches are expecting from you and what you're expecting from them. A lot of things that you used to do in high school, you can't do anymore. But I felt as though once he got all those things under his belt and got on the routine, then he was going to be able to be the guy and showcase what he could do. And I think a big help was that him being able to work out with LaNorris prior to that and just kind of filling out the room a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because all these boys have a relationship, and I just think that that's a big part of his development as well, is seeing the success of others and also taking it in, embracing, and grabbing the pieces that they need to grab and put into their toolbox and to help out and advance with their game.
Again, talking to Ramon Robinson of the Elite Quarterback Academy here on the Garner Trust Hour presented by Crane School. You only got about 2 more minutes here before you have to hit a break, but I do want to ask, when you look at Sellers going into his second full year as a starter, what improvements are you looking for him to make from year 1 to year 2?
Well, what I'm looking for is always development, just a stack on top of what he did before. And during my time that I've been with LaNorris, and I've been with him a long time, is that one thing I've never seen with him is he go backwards. He's always been a young man that always has built onto whatever success that he has. And that's what I've seen from him just from his high school career. I mean, from the youth all the way up, he's just always improved year by year. And what I expect for him is to continue to improve, continue to develop, continue to get a complete command of the huddle and respect of everybody around him, and just that trust and that feel for the game. So right now, it's like, you're in a wild. He was in the wilderness last year. Now he's clear. He's on the highway. He's driving it straight ahead, and that's what I see right now. He has that tunnel vision to continue to improve on a lot of the success he had from last year. And I'm just looking for him to make everyone else better around him, as though he's been doing forever. And that's the biggest word I've said for him. Let him make others around him better. And that's what I feel will happen this year as he's gotten more comfortable within the offense. And your success is only going to be as good as you know the offense, and you know your receivers, you know your offensive line, and you just, always honestly at the end of the day knowing your team. And that's also with the offensive coordinator knowing his player. And that's what I see right now, is that I look for him to continue to stack on, get more comfortable. And I know he's more comfortable with everything around him with the pieces that they've added, and add on those true freshmen that's coming in. I think the Gamecocks and LaNorris will have a great season, and I think he's going to do a lot of great things.
Well, Ramon, we love the work you've done with these quarterbacks, and we're excited to see them in action. Appreciate you taking your time this morning.
Yes, and I will say it once again, let 16 be 16.
That's right. Again, Ramon Robinson of the Elite Quarterback Academy. We'll continue to talk quarterbacks as the hour rolls along, live from Firehouse Subs in Elgin on your Thursday on the Game.